Hello. So I am gonna show you guys, kind of walk you through how I do my Grinches. And so what's different about this is for my actual characters, I have been going on Procreate and creating like an outline. Like I pick the image that I want to use, and then I've been creating an outline for that image, just because of the simple fact that I want everything to look proportionate, because I've learned that if something's not perfect proportion wise, that it just like ends up not having that same spark that it should, even if it's like barely off. So for this, and for time's sake, because I'm like running way behind on everything, I'm gonna be tracing. So basically I went into Procreate, I traced over the main features of the face, not every line and crease, but definitely the outline. I like to do for sure the outlines of like the nose and where the eyes are placed on the face, that sort of thing, because those are the things that like really matter that you get right, or your character's just not going to look like they're supposed to. And I know you've heard me speak on before, like how as much as I love doing these cauldron shaped mugs like this one isn't like a super cauldron, but it's somewhat like a, it has a waistline, so to speak. It's very hard, even if you're not tracing, to do images like this on them, just because the shape. So that's why a lot of my stuff, if I'm doing it more detailed, I'll plan to do it on a mug that is more straight faced. Your more traditional cylinder mugs, it just gives you a nice like flat area to work on. Because yeah, like this is, I'm gonna have to go through and like kind of reposition my hand to hold it down, kind of in every little area that I go into for this. So the main things, because of that I'm wanting to make sure I do first, is my eyes, my nose, and my mouth. So I know that they are like they're supposed to be, where they're supposed to be on the face. And then I'll do like the outline of the face, because if the little cheek creases and stuff, if I don't trace that over, that's fine. I can kind of eyeball that and add it in. But yeah, this other stuff, it really helps to already have it traced in place, and you can work around it. Parts of this video I'm gonna be speeding up, just because if I didn't, it would turn into like a 6-hour video. And I'm not going to be able to show you every single little thing I do, but I'm going to try to like break the videos down, which I'm not very good at yet, so you'll have to have some mercy on me, but try to at least break them down so you can at least see, how I begin each step and what it should look like once it's finished. As always, I'm using my diamond core tools for this, as far as the carving and stuff. And I will be using Amico velvets for the underglaze. So the hat and stuff, I'm not going to exactly do like how these lines are kind of, that just is showing that the line is going to be kind of wavy, basically. So I'll just kind of pick a place and just to show how far out it should go. Same with like his little Grinch fingers. They're all wavy and stuff, or hairy. So I'll show that hair in a little while. Yeah, sorry, this part of the video is kind of boring. I figure this part I won't skip through so I can explain everything out before we get it started with speeding it all up. And this is just, the curved mugs, man, I'm telling you. Good if you're just doing glazes, but if you're trying to do anything more complex, it's kind of like, ugh, annoying. This is his little hat over here. So, as you can see, I've got like my basic outline over here. And what I'm gonna do too before I move on to the next step is those things that I was telling you about that I wanna make sure I have on here. I'm gonna outline them a little bit better just so I can make sure I can really see it once I get to painting everything, because some of the paints kind of cover it, obscure the images, so make them a little bit deeper, that way I can see them. His little hat and his jacket. As you can see, my mouth didn't transfer all the way over, so I'll kind of redraw that part in. I want to make sure my nose lines are done too, because those kind of make up where the face is going to be. Or I guess how they're going to be, I should say. And I've done several of these just so I could get used to doing it, so I could show how I've been painting them. It did take me a couple of tries to memorize the order in which I need to do things, you know. Which every time I think I've done it a little bit different, which is pretty common. You kind of learn how to do things a little bit better or quicker each time, or what has the best results. You know, as you may know with underglazes, you're not going to know the final result until truly after it's glaze fired. And that's kind of the frustrating thing with it. Because sometimes you think something's going to look one way and it comes out like a completely different way. But the bisque fire, the initial bisque fire will give us an idea of like what we need to lighten up. Because unfortunately, using the underglazes, there really isn't the colors that, like, if I could have any color in the world made into an underglaze, the ones that I would need for this Grinch don't exist. You know, and that's a whole other story. Just like there's certain colors they can't make as well, like true pinks and things like that, or I guess maybe they're pricey to make. I don't know. But yeah, it just, unfortunately, we just have to kind of mix some things together and hope they turn out okay. So I'm gonna start by layering my darkest color first. And I've been using a dark green for this process. But then I layer it with like a bunch of different stuff, because dark green comes out like a really dark green. But to get like the undertones that you need of some, because you know the way this original picture is, and I can show it, the Grinch is definitely like shadowed on one side, so his skin does look really dark green on one side, whereas you know the other side, not so much. So, but yeah, so okay, this is what we've got so far for him, and that's just, like I said, our guide to getting started. Okay, starting out, we're going to be using dark green, I'm going to do the leaf green. That's going to kind of tone it down. Light green in the areas of the face that are lighter. I'm going to say light green, yeah. And then I'll do like chartreuse as the last layer, making it definitely more heavier on the what would be the right side of his face, left if you're looking at the mug. But I'll also add some probably of the white in, you know, some of the areas that need to be more highlighted on top. And like I said, once it gets bisque fired, I'll probably end up having to lighten up some areas even more, or who knows, maybe I'll need to darken some. What I forgot to add was for like the lines in his face that are gonna be here, and some of the areas that I do want highlighted as a darker green, I'll be doing with a hunter green. And some of those areas I'll do like a little bit of black too, and it'll kind of make sense once it's all finished why I do that. Bright red, of course, for his Santa hat. In the background, I've been doing a medium blue fading into a turquoise, and then I've been using some porcelain slip to create like the 3D snow effect. So I just added the 2 layers of color really quick. And I've learned with